How's it going? So today I'm going to walk you through how to create an interview scoreboard for sales rep applicants. So if you're running a company and you're interviewing people and you want to have, this is going to be really simple. It will help you rate talent and candidates as you have them on the interview. So I'm going to walk you guys through my simple interview scoreboard. If you want to have access to this, you could just DM me on Instagram. I'll click the link down below. Just DM me scoreboard and I'll give you the template for this, and you could use this for yourself. So I'm going to give you a little bit of extra context in this video on how to use this as well. So first up, sales rep interview card. You have the candidate name, role, whether you're hiring for an AE, closer, an SDR setter. If let's say you're hiring for a VP of sales, manager, sales director, you could add that as another list right here. I would just write down the role, date, interviewer. Okay, then you get going. Next, first thing is motivation, career history. Why this company? Why now? You're gonna rate them exactly from 1 to 5, right? 1 meaning it's absolutely not a good fit at all. Like the answer there is just a terrible answer whatsoever, not acceptable. 5 meaning it's a fantastic answer, great fit. And then 2, 3, 4, it's like right in the middle, depending on their answer. So essentially, you're gonna walk them through a few things, right? Career trajectory, reasons for leaving and joining past roles, clarity of role preference, closer versus setter. Like, see as well how they speak about even like their previous employee, their previous manager. That tells you a lot about a person as well, and like that will help you kind of map things out. And also, you want someone who's ambitious, right? So you can tell too through how someone, what they say is one thing and how they say it is another, right? So really be able to pick up on these things and then rate them. And then add some extra notes. There's always little notes here and there that are going to be really useful for you to remember. I will just write them directly in the interview. Next up is values and character. Score 1 of 5. Ownership of mistakes and failures. Conflict resolution with clients, teammates. This is like a good exercise. Like, hey, like, could you remember the last time you've had an issue with an employee, with a team member or an employer, and what was that situation, and how did that turn out? What was the last conflict you've really had with an employer or a team member, and how did that go? That will give you an idea as well on how they deal with other people as well. The initiative beyond job description, difference between good versus great in their role. You could just straight up ask them as well. Get an idea of like what's their natural standard. Like, do they keep themselves at a high standard? What does that look like? Do they take accountability? All these things are good to know. Next up is role specific competency, right? Whether they're, again, this depends on the role you're hiring. I'm just running this specifically for, let's say, sales reps, specifically AEs and SDRs. But if, let's say, you're hiring for a different role, this could still apply based on what you know makes someone competent at the role. So, for example, an AE, you want someone who has an ease to walk through a full sales process. They have a level of track record, but they also know how to handle objections, pre-handle them as well. They know how to move forward certain type of deals. They know how to follow. They know how to work their pipeline. There's like different things coming. They know how to conduct a really great discovery. So like all these little things make someone good at the role. And so it's like you can tell, like, here's the thing too. It's like, don't get fooled by someone who just has a good track record. Like someone who just has a good track record, it's like, yeah, but it's like if they haven't been in the game for a year or two, it's like they might be rusty, right? Track record doesn't always mean you're dealing with an absolute killer. And I'll tell you why. I've hired people. I've seen companies hire people where on paper they looked really good, but when it came down to doing the work, they cut corners. They really weren't that hardworking, right? They weren't that efficient, and they ended up getting let go. So keep that in mind. Track record can be important, but it's really not the. Don't just base your hiring purely on this. Make sure they know they're good at what they do. And then again, like, this is why having a scoreboard is really important, because after you do a couple interviews, you can just look through your notes and then you'll have an idea. It's like, okay, this guy had this guy didn't have this. Okay, these are the things and then at the end of the day too, you could do like a final score too, which I'll go over as well. So setter, right? Daily rhythm and activity level, handling rejection and resilience, objection handling on cold outreach, quality of meetings booked, right? Also another thing too, it's like how do they think through booking meetings? Like how do they look through, like what's their thinking process as they go and pick up the phone and book someone in? Are they aiming for volume? Are they aiming for quality of the meeting? What does that look like, right? How do they start a conversation, right? All these little things, it's really easy to test. Like if you yourself have done sales, it's like you'll know what to look for. And then from then you could rate them, and then you could add the notes. Performance mindset and ambition. So 3-year career vision, skills they're actively developing, drive for improvement, understanding of what winning means beyond money, like what's actually important to them. Well, as you go through this, you actually end up finding out your candidate's values, and then you also want to see, based on what they want, it's like, can that even fit within the position, right? So if, let's say, someone wants to make $200,000, $250,000 a year, and you know within the role you're hiring, they could potentially only make max 150, 100 a year. It's like, if there's room for them to eventually make 200, 250, you got to be upfront with them. Because if, let's say, their expectations is like they want to make a certain amount, and you know they won't be able to make that amount within the first 2 years, afterwards they can, you got to let them know. That's the biggest thing, because you're doing yourself a disservice, and then you're also doing that person a disservice. Make sure their vision can fit within yours, right? And they can also keep growing and keep developing within your company. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you're going to bring someone in, but then they're just going to churn. You don't want that. Talent compounds. So it's like, if you have great people and you're able to keep them and you're able to help them grow and all that, that's going to help. Like, you can figure a lot of this stuff out way before you even hire someone. That's why having something like this is so important. Next up is candidate questions. Did they ask thoughtful, strategic questions, or were they only focused on comp/benefits? This also shows you, like, depth of thinking. Like, is the person you're talking to, like, what's their driving factor? Of course, money's always a major factor, of course, but, like, did they ask you good questions? Was it, another thing too is, was it genuine, or was it like here's the thing too, you want to make sure someone's real with you as well. And another thing I didn't include is honesty. Like, does that person come across honest, genuine, transparent to a degree? And then again, like, did they actually think of questions? Did they ask you, and then you would rate them here and add some notes. Really, really straightforward. Lastly, next up would just be mark any sort of, like, overall red flags. So inconsistent career story, they blame others consistently, they overfocus on money only, no metrics, track record. You know what's weird? It's like, this is like one of the things where it's like, I naturally have met people who were only focused on money, and there wasn't actually anything wrong with it. But then again, over time, their work ethic would actually drop eventually. Like, once they would hit their goal, because they didn't have a clear wire, like, again, once they hit their money goals, everything would go down. So that's also why it's so dangerous to have someone who's only money focused. It's like, sure, you want to be focused on money, but it's like, what next? What do you want to do with that? What does that look like? What do you want for yourself? It has to have, like, again, no metrics or track record, ego or lack of coachability. This is, like, very straightforward. This is, like, the easiest red flag ever. Like, the moment you spot this and you know someone's not coachable, no bueno. Low activity tolerance, rejection handling. Like, again, they don't have any sort of, like, low work ethic, all that good stuff. Like, yeah, no go. And then any sort of notes. And then final recommendations: hire, strong yes; hire with reservation, pass. Summary justifications, 2-3 sentences. You could go from there. And then from then you could have a scoring rubric, right? 1 poor, 2 below average, 3 average, 4 strong, 5 outstanding. This is in terms of, like, right here, right? Whenever you're scoring them as well. And then you could add it all up, right? So that's what I would do at the end of the day, So right now you have a total of 5 questions. It's really pretty much out of 25. So out of 25, what's their total score? And I will give you an idea from there. Here's the thing too, don't only just go purely based on the score. You want them to have top percentage score, but you also want to look through your notes, because there's sometimes little nuances within interviews, and then you want to narrow it down. Like with us, like how we do recruiting for a lot of companies is, like, we'll do a lot of the heavy lifting up front. So they will only interview just a few select candidates, but since we vetted so aggressively and we narrowed down the search to exactly what they're looking for, all the candidates are really good. So at that point, it just matters of, like, it's really, really tough sometimes for them to make a decision, because they're dealing with people, just a few amount of people, so they don't have to do a ton of interviews, but the few people they have, they're all pretty good. And it's just a matter of, like, who's really the best fit, but not only who's the best fit, but it's like, who's actually going to, can we see also fit within our culture and stick with us in the long haul. Because again, keep in mind, talent compounds. Like, if you can retain talent, like, the ROI it has on your company is massive. So yeah, that's it on this video. I hope this was useful for you guys. Again, if you guys want the template to this, just DM me on Instagram. This DM me scoreboard on Instagram, and I'll get that to you. So this was exactly a simple breakdown on how to create an interview scoreboard for sales rep applicants within 10 minutes. Appreciate you guys. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon.